All right, we are talking about how to work with title companies and what information to give them. Again, as a wholesaler, you want everything to be smooth, you want everything to be fast, you don't want there to be a speed bump anywhere along the process. So again, how do you work with the title company to make sure that they understand? We talked a moment ago about interviewing them. Do you do this? Do you do this? How long do you require for this? That sort of thing. Let's talk now about what information you should share with them up front to make sure everything is going very smoothly. First thing you should do is tell them everything about the transaction, the good, the bad, and the ugly. For example, you might want to tell them going in, look, this property has a suit for taxes, cause number, blah, 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 blah. The husband and wife who bought this together got divorced 3 years ago. The person who owns this house has brothers and sisters. I think they own part of it too. This person will have somebody else sign their paperwork via a power of attorney. Again, all of these things, you want to make sure the title company is aware of them going in. Another thing you need to know is what is unthinkable. What is unthinkable for one title company is routine at another. I've had one title company tell me they couldn't close this transaction, or they took a look at a deed and they said, hey, this deed is faulty because of blah, blah, blah. We can't close this transaction. Or without you going back and finding this person again and having them sign a correction deed, and that deed was signed 7 or 8 years ago. I now have to go try to track this person down in a whole nother city and see if they'll sign a correction deed. Well, I don't think so. I took my paperwork to another title company, and I was up front with them. I told them, look, I just came from another title company. They said this, this, and this. What do you think? The person who was at that title company, the attorney there, looked at them and he said, this is fine. I will be happy to close this transaction here. So again, just because one title company tells you something, that doesn't make it so. If you don't like the answer they give you, go to another title company. They may give you a completely different answer. What is unthinkable for one is routine at another. You, the wholesaler, are often the linchpin in the communication. What I mean is you as a wholesaler, you just don't drop off a contract at the title company and hope for the best. You have to be hip deep in this process. You need to be calling the title company every couple of days. Hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Where are we on this? Are there any problems? Oh, there are problems. What are they? How do we get around this? How do we fix this? You need to be involved in that process. You need to be communicating to the seller and your buyer, telling them what's going on. Hey, we've hit a snag. I need to work on X, X, and Y. Make sure that gets done. You are the linchpin in this process. You have to stay involved with the title company, ask about the status, ask about problems, and ask about solutions. It is my preference to have the seller and the buyer there at different times. In fact, I would rather that they never meet. I just don't want my buyer and my seller in the same room at the same time. I just don't. Have one of them come in the morning at 10 o'clock, have the other one come in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. That is absolutely perfect. There is no reason these people need to be in the same room at the same time. I'm just saying. Title companies need time to prepare the documents with the correct names on them, and they perform what are called buyer checks. There's all kinds of work that the title companies do behind the scenes. Getting names and everything to the title companies at the last minute or last minute changes to these names can throw the entire process out of whack. Understand, we've all been to closings, we've all purchased real estate before as a homeowner or as an investor, and think of that big stack of documents that you have to sign. Even in a cash transaction these days, there's quite a stack. The correct name has to be on each one of those documents, and if you come in on the last day and say, oh, change out this buyer for this other buyer, well, that can be done, but they may not be able to do all of that and close you on the same day. Getting that information to them at the last minute or last minute changes to this data can throw you completely off balance. So just make sure that you try to organize this as best as you can. I see we've hit the 5-minute mark again. I'm going to go ahead and close it off here and begin at the next step. Thank you very much.